Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to the 9 o'clock hour of Rapid Dawn right here on Rapid Television. My name is Martha Alu.
My name is Victor. Okay, welcome to the big conversation this morning.
Yes, and this morning we did a bit of insight, or we had a bit of conversation regarding what we'll be talking about today. And we turn our attention to a story that has evolved from an allegation of impersonation into what many Nigerians now see as a test of the integrity of our public institutions. Now, at the center of the controversy is Prince Adeniyi Adeyemi, who allegedly operated under the banner of a non-existent government agency known as the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council. Now, the presidency has denied any official recognition of the agency and has declared the Chief of Staff to the President, retired Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, of any involvement. Now, but the questions remain. If this agency did not exist, how did it reportedly appear in budget documents? How did official institutions allegedly process requests on its behalf? And how were bank accounts, office allocations, and intergovernmental communications entertained? And if no senior government official was involved, what does this reveal about the strength or weakness of Nigeria's institutional safeguards? Today, we are not conducting a trial. We're asking questions about accountability, institutional competence, and public trust. And joining us today on this conversation is the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Mr. Temitope Ajayi. Good morning, and thanks for joining us on the show.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Welcome, sir.
You were laughing when we talked about the fact that, it's not a trial, because...
I want to believe it's not an acquisition.
Oh,
not at all. We just want to
clarity.
Of course.
Ask me a question and I answer.
Of course.
I'm not on trial here.
Absolutely.
The government is not on trial too.
Absolutely. But the government owes the people clarity regarding matters, exactly, especially about matters like this. So I'll just go on to ask about you for avoidance of doubt. What is the official position of the presidency this morning regarding this matter?
The official position of the presidency hasn't changed.
Okay.
I'm sure you are aware. Last Wednesday, an official statement was issued, which was signed by Mr. Bayo, who is the special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, which detailed that statement detailed and gave a chronological order of how the whole event and the chain of events started from last year up till now. So that remains the official position. So whatever we are doing afterwards is just to give further insight and provide greater clarity.
Okay. So I saw the statement of the Senior Special Assistant to the Special Advisor to the President. Yeah. And I also did see reactions that trailed from that regarding, and the major reaction from that was the fact that that statement was quite evasive because it didn't exactly speak to the issue on ground.
Naturally, a statement from government will generate reaction for and against, and like I explained to some people, you don't expect a statement to give to answer all questions and respond to every query. That statement that was put out explained what happened, but oftentimes what the social media reactions will be, they were expecting the statement to indict the Chief of Staff or to say Chief of Staff was complicit. No statement. There wasn't anything like that. So the statement only clearly explained how this whole scenario came about. Here we had someone who laid claim to being appointed as a Director General of a non-existent government agency. That is the crux of the matter. And how did this happen? This fellow, however, he got a letter that was forged. A letter that didn't originate from the presidency, which is And presidency, I mean from the office of the chief of staff.
Mm-hmm.
So someone forged a letter or wrote a letter on a forged state out letterhead using a forged signature of chief of staff. So that was the genesis. And this fellow now took this letter to other government offices to activate it. Well, when I mean activating it means to give life to that letter by now exchanging correspondences with other government institutions. Unfortunately, some of these offices, other government, fell for it. But that is not uncommon. We see fraudsters around the world who dupe people. How do people fall for it? You see the people we call Yahoo people. How are they able to convince foreigners to part away with their life savings? So, for whatever it is, for whatever scheme, people will always fall for this kind of things. But that doesn't mean that the system is weak or the system cannot respond to such things. Well, eventually it was the system that also picked it.
Mr. Ajayi, let me quickly jump in.
Yeah.
Right. The presidency said that the first red flags appeared in 2025.
Yeah.
Right? When the Ministry of Foreign Affairs actually became suspicious after the invitations that were sent to ambassadors in the name of an agency, which of course he said never existed.
Yeah.
And my question to you again is, if those concerns were raised in 2025, why did it take up until 2026 before the matter became public?
No, it happened in 2025. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Nigeria Investment Promotion Council, NIPC, which is actually the statutory agency in charge of driving foreign investment into Nigeria. So they started seeing an activity or activities of this illegal entity that claiming to represent government and also encroaching on the mandate of NIPC. So out of curiosity, because again, the bureaucracy is very large. Government, we're talking about federal government of Nigeria, where you have probably more than 300 MDAs. So it's not unlikely that one agency may not have a helicopter view of what is happening across the length and breadth of government bureaucracy or institution. But so that NIPC and Ministry of Foreign Affairs did the right thing. By writing, they wrote the chief of staff, they wrote the presidency that we are seeing these things happening.
Okay.
Please, what is going on? What, did the president create another office that is doing our work? So it's on the basis of the letters or inquiries from Ministry of Foreign Affairs and NIPC, the chief of staff took it up, which is the right thing to do as the head of the presidential bureaucracy. So the chief of staff saw that the letter this guy was carrying around was actually forged. His signature was forged. And the chief of staff did the right thing. And what did he do? He wrote a petition to the police, to the IGP, and to the DSS to say, please, look into this. Somebody had forged a state house document and my signature purporting to have been appointed by the president for an office that doesn't exist. On the basis of the two petitions, the police acted by going to to the federal secretariat where he was operating from to arrest him and lock the office up.
When was this arrest made?
October last year.
October last year.
Yeah, and he was checked to court.
If this office was locked in October last year,
Yeah.
there's also an allegation,
Yeah.
which of course we're here to clarify for us, that it was also captured the agency was captured on the appropriation bill of 2026. Is that correct?
Of course.
Is that correct, sir?
It's correct, but I will also explain that to you.
Okay.
How that in every institution, whether private sector or government institution, there are always bad actors.
What do you mean by bad actors?
Bad actors are people who will not do things by the book.
Okay.
People who are criminal minded. Right? So you see that everywhere in the world. And also don't forget, if you have seen that budget line that everybody is talking about, it was slashed. There is actually only a legitimate government entity, which is Presidential Economic Advisory Council.
Okay.
That is a council of economic advisors to the president, which was created by former President Buhari. And some of who are the members of that Presidential Economic Advisory Council? There are some of our biggest private sector names. People like Dangote, people like Jimovia, Tony Lumelu, Abdusamad, Bual. So all those big players, economic actors. So they are members of, so they advise the president regularly on economic issues, the business environment. So usually when they probably meet quarterly, I don't know the schedule of their meetings, but when on regular basis, they interact with the government. Either they are interacting with ministers or interacting with the president. So usually these people, when they come to Abuja or anywhere they have their meeting, naturally government will provide for them. Maybe, but because they are big men, they will usually not take those kind of benefits. But naturally government will make provision because of because of the sectorial support that will be required to support their work. But naturally those big men, they probably fly in their private jets, they can take care of themselves. But there might be need for sectorial support for the work they do. So there is a line item, a budget line item for that council.
Okay.
Right? So apparently, and I talked about the bad actors. So somebody must have seen that there is a budget line for the Presidential Economic Advisory Council. So
budget line for who exactly?
I said Presidential Economic Advisory Council.
That this PFIPC is part of?
No. I'm trying to explain. So just hold on. So whoever is the internal collaborator of this guy, they now went to input this illegal entity on the same budget line. So if you have the image of that budget document, so you will see Presidential Economic Advisory Council / this its own so-called organization. So really, the way a budget, the budget office will capture budget line for every agencies or extra ministerial department will be to create budget line for each of them, not to bundle two together, as it has happened in this case. So it means that something happened that is very, very untoward or that is questionable. But all of these are what the security agencies that I know DSS is on this matter, EFCC is on this matter. So these agencies will now dive deeper into all the issues and unmask the culprits. So the system, like I said, the system is very strong. The system is very robust. And the system, it was the system that picked the anomaly.
Mr. Ajayi,
Okay.
just to follow up to this, because you're saying that the system is very strong.
Yeah.
The system is robust.
Yeah.
But every budget passes through scrutiny, correct?
Absolutely.
See,
Is that correct?
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
Right? And before it passes through stages of review, before it gets to the National Assembly, that's the right way to do about it. And you say your system is strong.
Yeah.
But again, a fake agency was imputed.
I understand. I know where you are going to. I know what you are trying to do here. So there is no human institution that is foolproof.
This is the nerve center of Nigeria.
It doesn't.
The civil service commission.
There is no human institution anywhere in the world that is foolproof.
Okay, Mr. Ajayi. Let us assume that mistake happened.
Yeah.
You know, the agency is not foolproof before it passed and it appeared in the budget, right?
Yeah.
The CBN confirmed that an account was
opened. That process. Okay, continue.
Hold on,
okay.
sir.
Okay.
The CBN.
No, CBN has not confirmed anything.
The CBN
has never confirmed anything.
So
don't say what CBN did.
Let me finish, Sir Ajayi.
Okay.
CBN actually did say. You can check that.
There is no way. Bring out the statement.
He said an account was open in.
You said CBN confirmed. CBN didn't confirm.
Sir Ajayi, can you let me finish?
Okay.
That account has an account with the CBN. That agency has an account with the CBN.
Purportedly.
And the CBN does not just open accounts for just anybody.
Yeah.
There are procedures. Verification process, mandate from the Accountant General Office.
Yeah.
Either those documents were over convincingly forged.
Yeah.
Or someone within the system, like you have said, is working with this fake or fictitious agency, as the presidency has called it to be. And time and again here, you have spoken about how the system is strong. So are you saying if the system is strong, let's say that the budget office made a mistake, before the president will assent his signature on a budget, there's supposed to be a proofread. There are procedures. Are you saying that this thing passed through all of these procedures in a strong system and still passed through?
Have you seen a budget document before?
Of course.
No, you probably have used some of those documents. Will be more than across MDAs, be more than 5,000 pages. But that is not an excuse.
Absolutely.
Those who are supposed to do their job are supposed to do their job.
Absolutely.
But it's also important for me to clarify what you said. CBN has not issued any statement, and CBN has not confirmed that there is any account. So I think it's important for us to say what is correct. So and we don't misinform the viewing public. So CBN has not issued any statement. CBN has not confirmed whether the fake agency has an account with them. But as of this morning, I know that the Accountant General's office issued a statement over the weekend about the so-called CBN account. Yes, an account has not been opened, or the process of opening a CBN account has not been finalized. So that account has not actually been opened, according to the official statement from the Office of Accountant General. So somebody has initiated the process, but Accountant General has not authorized it. So it means if Accountant General has not authorized it, CBN cannot open that account. So that is the official statement from Accountant General's office as at this morning.
Okay.
So you may also, after your program, or if you can also Google it while we're on here, you can do that.
Let's just have this video. Would like to have you speak to the video and some of the things that were said by Adeyemi himself, because he was on national television, on Channels Television.
People can see a lot of things.
It's fine. I mean, this is a matter that is ongoing. Nigerians are very interested in it. At the end of the day, all of the facts that are being debunked will either be proven right or be proven to be false. So we are not in a haste to gather the truth about the matter. But let's just have that video displayed on the screen. Would have you speak to some of the allegations that was made by Adeyemi himself. So you tell us what the stance of the government is regarding the matter. Please, can we have that displayed on the screen?
When Chief of Staff to the President has meritoriously served for good 20 years and wrote from minority leader, majority leader, and then speaker for good 4 years. I mean, he rose to be the number 4 citizen of Federal Republic of Nigeria. So the question becomes unaffordable. At what point in the process did reference to non-existent agency allegedly enter the official record? And if that are indeed present in an official documentation, what that implies about the integrity of the process that produced and approved those documents? For President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to assent his signature to a budget that includes a non-existent agency according to his chief of staff is an embarrassment to this advocating government. My distinguished media practitioner, when the question persists regarding administrative process, budget lines, and institutional communication allegedly connected to this agency, if it doesn't exist, the same acclaimed non-existent agency has domiciliary, pounds, and treasury single account, all domiciled in Central Bank of Nigeria. So what Chief of Staff is telling Nigerians is that the CBN governor, with his 4 deputies, 16 capable directors, and over 5,300 staffs are clueless not to have dictated a fraudulent document for opening accounts.
All right. This exactly is the video I was talking about. I would love for you to speak to some of the things that he has said over there.
He has said what he said, and it doesn't make them true or fact, right? Mm-hmm. And somebody who has a record. There's this popular saying, the message and the messenger. Mm-hmm. So somebody who is not credible, who has history of defrauding people, who has history of bad behavior, mm-hmm. or unethical behavior, who has history of forgery. So because he came to address a press conference, whatever he said in that press conference amounts to nothing. Because at the end of the day, the issues is a sinking person who is just trying to hold on to any straw that he could. And for him, the only person that could keep him in the media, the person that he feels he could hold on to or drag into his own mess is the chief of staff.
You know, there are certain allegations he made against the chief of staff.
Like what?
Of course, he said it's a straw now that he's holding on to as the last person to hold on to.
Yeah.
Prince Adeyemi himself made allegations that he paid.
To who?
He paid
through
money
proxy.
to the chief of staff.
He didn't say he paid money to chief of staff.
He said 400 million.
By proxy. He said by proxy.
He didn't say he paid money to chief of staff. So really,
Yeah,
hold on. You are an on-air personality. You are on a live television program. Mm-hmm. You are a journalist or a broadcaster. Mm-hmm. So what? You must not give life, or you must not accentuate wrong narrative. Okay. Hold on. That is your fiduciary responsibility. You must not equalize, or you must not give oxygen to falsehood. He never said he paid money to chief of staff, because this guy has never seen chief of staff before in his life.
He said by proxy. And
no, I'm trying to correct him. Yes, he made a categorical statement.
That was an error, but by proxy. He said by proxy.
So who is the proxy?
He mentioned
anybody could posture mm-hmm. as president. Anybody could posture as mm-hmm. minister. Mm-hmm. Anybody could go about saying, I'm working at Rapid TV. Mm.
But not everybody
Hold on. Everybody, do you know how many fake journalists who attend events claiming to represent a media house where they are not staff? So these things happen. Don't let us pretend. They happen.
Mr. Ajayi.
So listen, he said he paid money to proxy, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And the fellow he paid money to said chief of staff is working in the chief of staff. Mm-hmm. But there's nobody by that name in chief of staff's office, by the name of the person that he said coordinated the money on chief of staff's mm-hmm. behalf. Mm-hmm. There is no human being by that name working with chief of staff either now or in the past. That is one fact.
Okay.
The second part is the person he said collected 400 million naira from him as proxy, and as you said, on police investigation, police found out that the person died 5 days before
they got to him.
Yeah. Police. So where did this person die? They said he died in a fire accident in a particular hotel. Police went to the hotel. They saw incident. Of course, there was incident of fire outbreak in the same hotel in the particular room. Police didn't hang there. Okay, where has him be buried? They said is in the body is in the morgue. Police went there to see the person. So the link within the major link in his story now about paying somebody now, that link is no longer alive to say whether or not he collected 400 million. So, but that is still left.
There are other ways this investigation can be carried out.
So me, I'm not an investigator.
Absolutely.
I'm not police. I'm not DSS.
Okay.
Those are the people that are constitutionally empowered or mandated, and they have the resources to unmask any crime. So we should leave that to them.
Okay.
So because that process of investigation is still ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, as at this morning, since last year October or November, the police had had charged him to court based on the material facts and based on the fact of the forgery and cases of impersonation that have been established. Then the DSS will continue their own part. Of course, DSS is about state security. So this is a matter of state security.
Absolutely.
Because some institutions of states have been breached.
Okay.
So there is the economic crime part of it, which EFCC also will deal with or already dealing with. So all of these are going on. I'm also aware that there is going to also be the administrative part within the civil service itself.
Absolutely.
Maybe the SDF or head of service, they are going to set up a panel to also investigate how did different offices or units within the government, how did they
come about? Okay.
What is their level of involvement? Who are the people within those offices or agencies that likely collaborated with this guy? So these issues are on. So I think we should just allow the process to go on.
Mr. Ajayi, I would also like to speak to what you said to my colleague over here, where you said, do not re-echo, false information or re-echo information. And from the start of this conversation, I made sure that I reiterated the fact that it was not a trial. It was based on the information that is accessible in the public space, that the questions, that the questions are being asked to you. So it is the same thing. As a journalist, we will speak to the information that is available from both culprits. The accuser and the accused. It is based on that we are asking. Yes, the military would do its part.
No, not
military. The DSS, I beg your pardon, would do its part. EFCC would do its part. Administrative investigations will do their part. The journalists will also do their part, which is asking the questions based on what is available on the social space. So now, it brings me to my very next question to you. You spoke about the reputation of Mr. Adeyemi. And, when this conversation began, there were also linkages of, other instances where the chief of staff to the president was being mentioned in matters like this. And I'll give you one example, that of Betta Edu, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. Even though that was, linkages were being made, at the end of the day, that completely was resolved. Yes, hold on, Mr. Ajayi. Yes, that was made. So when we are speaking about reputations, I believe that you can understand the point Nigerians are coming from when we are asking these questions about the chief of staff to the president. And you said, let the necessary bodies carry out the investigations. But the State House has released a statement completely exonerating the chief of staff to the president and declaring him innocent whatsoever in the crime. In the allegations. Don't you think that was rather too fast from the presidency in itself for a matter that has not been concluded?
Because one, you also made pass an unfounded innuendo about the chief of staff, saying that his name had been mentioned previously.
Betta Edu specifically.
So I don't know I don't know. Those are just conjectures.
Okay.
And you know, I made a piece. I wrote a social media post, I think Friday or Thursday.
Okay.
And I said, and if you go on my social media, either my Twitter or X or Facebook, you will still see it there. You know, if you understand the way government and public sector work, the easiest and most believable thing to throw at a government official is corruption.
Okay.
You know why? Because 8 out of every 10 person will naturally believe it is true. Once you say, oh, it is because I didn't, it is because this person, I didn't give him money. That is why he did what. Because Nigeria, an average Nigerian is always looking for somebody to blame for his or her misfortune. So if somebody is looking for government contract, it doesn't matter whether his or her company is qualified, if they meet all the requirements. Once he or she doesn't get that contract, he will blame the person on who has responsibility on the contract. He will say it's because I didn't give him money or give her money. That's why he didn't give me the contract. But go and investigate, go and look at it. The person doesn't even meet half of the requirements. So these things, people can throw anything. Allegations are allegations. Innuendos are innuendos.
But I said, don't you think the presidency was too quick?
No,
to exonerate before investigations have been carried out?
There is no issue of, there is no matter of exoneration, because I have told you, the chief of staff was the whistleblower in this instance.
He can still be investigated.
But nobody is cheating from investigation. In fact, as a matter of fact, from police report that I saw, the police investigating officer came to speak with him, to ask him questions. So the chief of staff is not saying police or DSS or everything should not do their job. It doesn't have immunity. So if they want to investigate it, but the fact is, his signature was forged. So it's actually the victim.
Interesting.
It's the victim here.
Mr. Ajayi, I think we would go out on a very quick break.
No, seriously. The chief of staff is the victim here.
Okay. Hold that thought. We'll go out on a very quick break. And when we get back from this break, we'll keep up with the conversation. Remember, we're talking about the recent fictitious agency that somehow appeared in the budget of Nigeria. Please stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're still having a conversation with the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Mr. Temitope Ajayi, and we have been talking about the fake agency allegation and what this means for the Nigerian system, which of course will lead me to the very next question I'll be asking you. You know, off air and on air, you made mention of the fact that it's not the first time we're seeing fraudulent activities like this being carried out. We have seen the Eiffel Tower being sold twice. We have seen a bank, I think we did that here sometime, being sold twice and all of that. But, you know, the civil service is at the center of the heart of the Nigerian system. And if this level of fraud can be carried out, this level of fake agency, you know, allegations being made, what does that say about the strength of our system?
So, like I said earlier, there are bad actors everywhere, anywhere in the world. We have always had people who lock around government institutions, parading fake documents. That is, we have seen, even in more sophisticated societies like US, Europe, Canada, you see people faking passport documents, people faking visa. Right? Those are not happening in Nigeria. I mean, those are jurisdictions we all think have, with their level of sophistication, with their level of cyber security sophistication, with the level of technology, all of those things should not be happening again. But they still happen. Because anywhere, there is no human institution that is not prone to error, or that is totally foolproof. Okay, I was reading a BBC report last week that one of the automakers in Ford, they are now hiring back their woman engineers because they fired about 300 woman engineers, replaced them with AI, right? But they have seen that the vehicles that are being rolled out from production line, they are now having factory defects, which the human engineers. So what I'm trying to say is, no matter the system, no matter the technology, no matter whatever system you put in place, bad actors with ill motivation will still find a way to circumvent. And hold on, let me learn. And that is why you have rules and regulations. That's why you have laws. And I always tell people, you have laws and regulations not because you don't know that people, not because you are saying people should not commit those crimes, or those do not act improperly. Laws, because it has already been, the law has already emphasized that will be lawbreakers, right? That is why you have laws. So it is the law that will now punish bad behavior. So it doesn't matter. Even in civil service, you have what they call financial regulations. You have administrative regulations. If you do this, you should not do. These are the way you should behave. These are the ways you should not behave. If you behave the way you should not behave, these are sanctions. Despite the sanctions, people still misbehave. In China, where you have capital punishment for corruption, where they just kill you, people still, every day you still hear that they execute somebody in China.
Mr. Ajayi, all I'm hearing is you making defense.
No, it's not about, I'm just telling
That's
you.
all I'm hearing.
No, it's not
Mr.
about
Ajayi.
defense. It's about
Honestly.
telling you that human being will be human being. There's no system you put in place.
So should we embrace the character, the fraudulent behaviors of human beings?
That is why the laws are there to punish bad behavior.
Let me take you to some of the statements that you made in your recent interviews, especially in Arise Television. Where you said, of course, that first of all, one of the signs that the appointment letter was fake was the fact that the forged letterhead had a telephone number. And why the one for the State House does not have a letterhead. Does not have a
telephone number.
And you also said that appointments into federal agencies are made by the president and conveyed through the office of the secretary.
No, are conveyed by Chief of Staff to SGF, to the
SGF, not directly by the Chief of Staff.
Chief of Staff doesn't make appointments.
So if those differences were so obvious, that's the question again. And don't talk about because if you actually hit on that point.
Yes.
So how then did other government institutions allegedly accept this document that have been passed around, by the fake agency?
That is, and again, I will still go back to bad actors. And I have said repeatedly that it is not impossible. And even from the elaborate nature of this scheme, this grant scheme, one can almost conclude that there are internal collaborators. Because again, the same question I asked, how will anybody in SGF office, does it mean that how will anybody, a director, for example, and before you can become a director in the civil service, you must have spent at least 30 years, right? Because director is the highest level you can get to by promotion. PAMSEC is like only few people can be PAMSEC at any point in time, but hundreds can become director. So for you to become from level 8 to level 17, it will take you an average of 30 years. So it should be expected that somebody who becomes a director will have known everything about public service rules, public service regulation by heart, without even looking at any document.
Is there internal investigation going on now?
I've already said that.
The DSS and the EFCC.
I've already said that I'm aware that SGF and head of service is the head of civil service. SGF is the head of bureaucracy, right? So I'm aware, as at this morning, that those two offices are going to empanel an investigative panel which is going to be the administrative, which is within their purview administratively. What DSS and EFCC will be focusing on will be the criminal aspect of it. But even the internal administrative review within the system, the SGF and head of service can look at that, and I'm sure they're going to look at that. So the point I'm making is, it is not unlikely there are internal collaborators, because really, it doesn't make sense how such scheme could go that deep. Because one, somebody in SGF should know that if somebody brought a letter of appointment signed by chief of staff, you should know that is procedurally wrong. Chief of staff does not make appointments. So
is it possible that these people in the office do not understand the nitty-gritties of their
Well, I don't work there, so I don't know. Even me that is not a civil servant, that I'm an appointee, I know civil service rules. So there are certain documents. Hold on.
From the outside.
Yes.
These people are working
directly inside.
So
directly in the presidency.
I don't think we should.
Is it possible
No,
that
not
they don't understand? They are working within the agencies. They are working in the civil service there.
Yeah.
Is it possible that they don't know their job completely?
I don't know. I'm not a civil servant, and I'm not working in those offices, so I don't know whether they know their. I cannot answer the question whether they know their jobs or not. I can't.
But you have outrightly come out to make excuses for these people.
No, I didn't make any excuse.
You have, Mr. Ajayi.
I have not.
Honestly, you have, by saying, when you say that they are bad eggs or bad players, how you call it, everywhere. Yes, that is making.
Are you denying that fact?
No. It's an established fact, but that you reiterated it throughout this conversation means, hold on, Mr. Ajayi, let me finish. You are making excuses for the incompetence. Hold on, Mr. Ajayi, let me finish. For the incompetence of the people across these offices. Because how do we make of the fact that this guy had international delegations come to his office? He even traveled. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Were they not aware of this? The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, what happened there? If they missed it there, what happened in the House of Assembly?
Hold on. You are now running commentary. You are no longer asking questions.
No, I'm not.
You are now making commentary. You are not asking questions.
If all these agencies missed it, because we are talking about bad eggs, and you say there must be systems. Yes, because we know that there are bad actors in a system. That's why the systems must create a defense against the bad actors in a system. And the defense mechanism is putting people that can play as actors for checks and balances, right? That are supposed to check these documents before the president.
So the fact that this whole attempted haste didn't go through also speaks to the fact that the good people within the system prevailed. So that is a way to look at it.
The person
Hold on. You have made the comment or you have made the statement. Let me respond.
Please go on.
However you dice it, there are people in every system that will seek to circumvent the system. Whether you accept that fact or not, it's left for you. However, and I have explained to you, the reason why you have rules and regulations and law is not because people will not break them. It is already taken that there are, because of bad people who will not obey. That is why you put laws to punish bad behavior. Is that a fact? Right? So, it means that if you do this, this is the punishment. So, we have established a case of bad behavior and possible connivance. It is now left for investigators to now say, how deep did this matter go? Who are the people? Of course, some of the letters or documents that are now trending or circulating on social media, certain individuals signed them. So it will not be a question, and so it means they are traceable. At least they know the source. Absolutely. The one that the director signed, the one that Palmstech signed, the one that another person signed. So there's a source. So it will not be a question, Mr. Director, for example, how did you come about issuing a letter that this guy should be given an office at Federal Secretariat? what did you rely on to issue that memo or issue that letter? You will say he bought a letter of appointment by chief of staff. Then they will not ask you, for your 30 years of service, for example, is this chief of staff that makes appointment? So these are issues that we should allow the panel or security agencies to deal with.
All right. You have argued.
Yeah.
That of course that the system.
No, I'm not arguing.
You have stated that the system eventually detected.
That is the fact.
That is what you stated. I don't want to go back to why it went on this far, anyways. But again, what is the presidency doing now to ensure that this kind of things do not repeat itself? Because you said prior that it is not uncommon.
See, like I said, and when we were off here, I said, you will expect that. I use an example of bank. You will expect every day, as with the level of sophistication you see in a banking system, with the level of internal controls, with the level of software, with the level of investment in technology, every day, people still carry out fraud in banks. At least we read it every day in newspaper, or we see EFCC prosecuting one bank official or the other for fraud. How did it happen? It means there are people who will circumvent system regardless. I read like sometimes like that a bank officer defrauded the bank of 40 billion naira. And that person has a GM, has a deputy GM, has an assistant GM, has the executive director. So are you going to now say all of them are complicit?
So let's come back here. My question is,
no.
What is the presidency doing?
So I'm telling you that I try to give you a broader view that this thing is not limited to public institutions. It also happens in private institutions. But what is being done is to continually ensure improvement in safeguards, continually put systems in place that ensure that bad behavior are easily detected. And beyond even detecting, the most important thing is deterrent. And that is what the government is doing and is going to do. Deterrent means after investigation, if cases of bad behavior are established against certain officers, then they should face the full weight of the law. That is the best. So deterrent is the best antidote against bad behavior. Punishment. There must be consequence. So what we are dealing with now is consequence management.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're far out of time.
Before we let you, just quickly speak to the IMF report, which stated that over 2% of the budget was
that is because of your time, Minister of Finance responded to it yesterday. That is a pure misrepresentation. And again, you know, I've always said that some of these multilateral institutions, oftentimes, they are set in their ways. They have their own parameters, the way they see things. Whatever doesn't fall within their own narrow or their own parameter, they flag it. But oftentimes, you have to understand the local laws and processes of a country where you operate from. Now, you are talking about, just see this morning. They're talking about 8.8 trillion spent off budget. But federal government does a lot of projects that are not funded by budget. And just this morning, Dangote alone, go and read this daily newspaper today. Dangote alone is executing about 3 road projects across the country, almost 3 trillion. That is not off budget. That is not inside budget.
That's a private.
No, it's not a government project.
Mr.
Hold on. Hold on now. This is, and again, if people like you don't understand these things.
No.
Hold on. It's not private. It's tax credit.
Mr. Ajayi.
So hold on now. Listen, don't say Mr. Ajayi. A tax credit means the tax Dangote, MTN, because some of these companies are undertaking certain projects. Yeah. So under what government, a financing arrangement called tax credit. It means the tax you are supposed to pay You use it to do this road on our behalf.
That's an entirely different conversation.
That is it now.
We're talking about the budget.
What is budget?
According to section, I think 92 to 93 of the 1999 Constitution, it says that no spending. No. It is here. It is captured in the Constitution. Should be made outside of the house. No withdrawal should be made. Mr. Ajayi, we will not drag on. Mr. Ajayi, we will not expand.
This will be a debate for another day.
Exactly. We will not expand on this.
Sufficiently, you don't even understand public finance.
Absolutely not. No, Mr. Ajayi. We will not. That's a very wrong thing.
No, you don't. You don't. It's obvious.
How is it obvious?
Hold on now.
Hold on. The bone of contention here is the fact that if these spendings are not captured, hold on, Mr. Ajayi. You know I let
you said you don't have time again. No?
Yeah, we don't have time. But we need to set that record straight because we are putting our reputation on the line. So if you say you don't understand public finance, that's entirely wrong. Because
you don't.
No, Mr. Ajayi, the Constitution, we asked you a question based on what has been said, based on the report of the IMF and the response that Taiwo Edele, the finance minister, also gave, and what the Constitution says regarding these two matters. So you cannot say a person does not completely understand that when they are making assertions based on a subject matter. But I think this is where we will wrap it up right now. Thank you so much, Mr. Temitope Ajayi, for joining us on the conversation this morning. If you're just joining us, of course, we be having conversations regarding the fake agency allegations. And of course, we are asking questions regarding how that has been able to pass to the points that it is right now, and that until it is being found out right now or whistleblown to the public. Thank you so much again, Mr. Ajayi, for joining us on the conversation. And this is where we wrap it up with myself and Victor in the studio. Of course, would remind you that we are active across all social media platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on X. It is at Rapid TV. On our YouTube page at Official Rapid TV, you can rewatch this episode and many others that have been, had here on live TV. And www.rbnradiotv.com allows you to connect with us from anywhere in the world. And the newest edition, we are on Free TV. You can download the Free TV app and search for Rapid TV. You get connected with us across board. Thank you so much again for being here. My name is Mata Alu.
My name is Victor. Okay, well, we'll see you tomorrow.